Today we're going to be talking about the ignition system on a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. We're going to talk about the V8 engine and the ignition system that uses 8 dedicated and individual fire coils for each spark plug. A distributor is not used for this engine, and the PCM controls the ignition system. The ignition system consists of spark plugs, ignition coils, PCM, crankshaft sensor, and camshaft sensor, as well as there are other sensors that could affect the ignition system. Here's our firing order, which is 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. The spark plug in the V8 uses resistor type spark plug and is equipped with fire and suppressor seal. Make sure to keep the spark plug in order when removing, and when you're putting it back on, make sure to torque it to spec. This is the operation of the ignition coils. It is supplied by battery voltage to the 8 ignition coils from the ASD relay. The PCM controls the opening and closing of each coil ground circuit. Here are the coils, and they have 2 wires, so they should have 2 pins. Here's our schematic for the PCM. As you can see here, by down middle left, close by the battery, you can see our automatic shutdown relay. Going up from the PCM itself to the right, you can see all 8 ignition coils, and as well as our duty cycle. Power is supplied by our ASD relay, which is battery supplied to the PCM, which controls our ignition coils when to fire a spark plug or not. Here we have our own reading specs, and in the next video you can see we are within specifications. Here we're getting our resistance for our primary, and it's 0.8 ohms. We're getting our secondary resistance, and it's 7.22 kilo ohms.
Okay, so we pulled the number 1 spark plug out of the Jeep, and if I can get it to focus, it's not horrible. There's a little bit of carbon buildup, but for not ever really getting heat cycled, it's a pretty clean plug. Okay, we are going to test the spark. Go ahead and start it. Okay, now we have opened up the gap a little bit more, and we're going to see how that does. Go ahead and start it. Alright, that gap. Go ahead and open it up some more. Continuing to fire. Okay, so for the life of me, I cannot figure out what happened to my pico readings from the Jeep, but here is a screenshot of some pico readings that I got on Google. As you can see, this is a primary coil. As we go into this is our natural 12-volt state, and then we ground it as the coil reaches saturation. Here is our firing line, and then here is our burn line. And our burn time, it looks to be about we're at 2 millisecond divisions, so maybe 2 milliseconds is our burn time. And then you can see the fluctuations from that field collapsing, and then we return back to our 12-volt state. That is all.